Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your pockets or drawers. Yes, we're talking about the United States 1996 $quarter. It's a coin that might look like just another piece of currency, but trust me, there's a lot more to this little quarter than meets the eye. Stick with us until the end, because you won't believe how much this coin could be worth today. Now, the United States quarter is a staple in American coinage, but the 1996 $quarter is special. It was minted during a significant year for the U.S. economy and coinage, and it holds a place in history that could make it worth far more than its face value. But before we get into its value, let's take a look at why this coin stands out and what makes it so sought after by collectors. The first thing you need to know is that the 1996 $quarter isn't one of those coins you'll find in perfect condition by just going through your change jar. This coin was widely circulated and used in daily transactions, so most of the coins you'll come across are worn, faded, and damaged. But here's the kicker: if you're lucky enough to come across one in pristine condition, it could be worth far more than you could imagine. And that's where the rarity factor comes in. Most of the 1996 quarters were produced in huge numbers, but finding one that hasn't been battered by years of handling is like finding a needle in a haystack. If a quarter has survived with minimal wear and tear, it's considered rare. Coins in mint condition are always highly coveted by collectors, and they often fetch a much higher price when they're in excellent shape. And when we say excellent, we're talking about coins that look brand new, coins that have barely been touched and have kept all their fine details intact. Now, here's where things get even more exciting. There are certain versions of the 1996 quarter that have what collectors call errors, minting flaws that make them even rarer and more valuable. These can include things like misprints, off-center strikes, or even double dies. Imagine a coin that was accidentally struck twice, making the design blurry or out of alignment. That's a collector's dream, and finding a 1996 quarter with such an error could skyrocket its value. But that's not all. Some of these quarters may have even been minted with unique features that make them stand out even more. There are variations in the finish, the way the coin was struck, or slight design differences that happened during production. These are all the kinds of quirks that make a coin more interesting and valuable to collectors who know how to spot them. When it comes to rarity, error coins are like gold in the coin collecting world. And guess what? If you manage to get your hands on a 1996 quarter that has one of these unique features or minting errors, it could dramatically increase its worth. But it's not just any minting error that will fetch top dollar. Only the most noticeable and rare errors are going to make a big impact. Now, I know what you're thinking: how much could a single 1996 quarter really be worth? Well, buckle up, because here comes the jaw-dropping part. If you have a 1996 quarter that's in uncirculated, perfect condition, or better yet, one with an error that stands out, prepare to be amazed. This coin could potentially be worth a staggering $56,000. That's right, $56,000 for a single 1996 $quarter. It's hard to believe, but it's true. A coin that's been sitting around in your pocket could be worth more than a brand new car, depending on its condition and any unique characteristics it might have. So, what should you do now? Well, take a second look at your coin collection or dive into those old coin jars you have lying around. If you find a 1996 quarter that's in amazing shape or has one of those rare minting errors, you might just have a small fortune on your hands. But even if it's just a regular quarter, don't forget that rare coins like this one have the potential to rise in value over time. And who knows, your next find could be worth a lot more than you ever expected. Top 2, we're diving into a truly fascinating coin that could be worth far more than you ever thought, a coin you might have sitting around in your pocket, your coin jar, or even in a drawer somewhere. I'm talking about the United States 1986 $quarter. Now, you might think, it's just a quarter, what's so special about it? Well, trust me, there's a lot more to this coin than you might imagine. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know why this 1986 quarter could be hiding a small fortune. Let's start with some history. The 1986 quarter dollar was part of a series of coins issued by the U.S. Mint in the mid-1980s. These coins were part of the regular circulation and, for the most part, they were used in everyday transactions. But what sets the 1986 quarter apart is that it holds a special place in U.S. coinage history. This was a time when the country was experiencing significant economic changes, and it marked the beginning of new approaches to coin design. But here's the kicker: the 1986 quarter isn't just any regular coin. There are some fascinating reasons why collectors have been on the lookout for these quarters. One of the main reasons is rarity. While millions of 1986 quarters were minted and circulated, finding one in excellent condition is incredibly rare. A large number of these coins were worn down by constant use, losing details, edges, and even the distinct design features that make them unique. So, if you've ever had a 1986 quarter in your hands and thought it was just another coin, think again. If you happen to stumble upon one that's in pristine condition, you're holding something incredibly valuable. What does pristine mean? Well, it's a coin that hasn't been damaged by wear and tear. Think about it: no scratches, no scuff marks, and no fading. A coin that looks as if it just came off the minting press. Now, here's where things get even more exciting. Some 1986 quarters have special characteristics, called minting errors, that make them even more valuable. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process. Maybe the coin was struck with too much pressure or got misaligned. These errors can cause design flaws, like double strikes, off-center designs, or even mismatched images. And here's the best part: collectors absolutely love these errors. Why? Because they are unique. Imagine having a coin that looks different from every other coin of its kind. An error coin is one of a kind, and that's what makes it so highly prized among collectors. If you've got an error quarter from 1986, you're not just holding onto a piece of currency, you're holding a rare collector's item that could be worth significantly more than its face value. But it's not just the errors that add to the value of the 1986 quarter. There are also variations in the way the coin was struck, sometimes creating distinct features that make a certain quarter more desirable. For example, there are certain 1986 quarters that might have a special finish or subtle design differences, making them a bit more unique than the others. These subtle touches can set a coin apart from the rest, and that's something any serious collector would love to add to their collection. Now, let's talk about the big question on everyone's mind: how much could this coin actually be worth? We're talking about a coin that, in its most perfect form, with no wear and tear, and possibly even with a minting error, can fetch an astounding value in the market. In fact, if you find a 1986 quarter that is in impeccable condition or one with a rare error, it could be worth $59,000. Yes, you heard that right, $59,000 for a single 1986 quarter. That's a small fortune for something that may have been sitting in your collection or passed over as just another coin. Can you believe it? A quarter from 1986 that you thought was worth only 25 cents could actually be worth thousands. So, what's the takeaway from all this? If you've got a 1986 quarter or you come across one in your collection, it's definitely worth taking a second look at it. Check its condition, look for any minting errors, and pay attention to any unique features. If it's in mint condition or if you discover that it's a rare error coin, you might just be holding onto a valuable piece of US history. Top 3 and last unique coin. I'm going to show you a coin that might be hiding in plain sight, just sitting in your drawer, your collection, or maybe even in your change jar. It's a coin that could be worth far more than its face value, and I'm not talking about just a few extra cents. We're diving deep into the United States 1980 quarter dollar. You won't believe what it could be worth today. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking your coins more carefully than ever before. Now, most of us are familiar with the quarter dollar, right? It's one of the most common coins in circulation in the US, and we see it all the time. But let me tell you something: if you've got a 1980 quarter in your collection, you might want to take a closer look. This particular quarter wasn't just another coin minted and forgotten. It was released during an interesting time in U.S. history. The 1980s were a transformative decade for the United States, with significant changes in both the economy and the political landscape. The country was entering a new era, and coins like the 1980 quarter captured a moment in time. However, here's where things get interesting. While the 1980 quarter was minted in large numbers, finding one that's in exceptional condition today is incredibly rare. Most of these quarters were used in everyday transactions, getting passed around, dropped, and worn down. Over time, they lose their crisp, sharp edges, and the intricate details of the design start to fade. So, if you happen to find a 1980 quarter that's in mint condition, free from scratches, dents, or discoloration, then you're sitting on something truly special. But it gets even better. One of the reasons the 1980 quarter is so interesting to collectors is because of certain unique features and errors that were produced during the minting process. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production of the coin. It could be a misaligned strike, a double die, or an off-center design. These errors make the coin rare and, therefore, more valuable. Imagine having a quarter that was accidentally struck twice, making the image blurry or misaligned. That's exactly the kind of mistake collectors are looking for, and it's what makes these error coins worth far more than the regular issue. What makes these errors so appealing? Well, they are unique. It's not every day you find a coin that's been misprinted or struck wrong. A minting error makes the coin stand out in a way that regular coins just can't match. If you manage to come across a 1980 quarter that has a minting flaw, whether it's an off-center design, a double die, or another rare characteristic, you've found a true gem. But there's another factor to consider when it comes to the 1980 quarter. Even without minting errors, certain quarters can become highly valuable depending on their condition. Coins that are uncirculated, meaning they've been preserved in a way that prevents them from being damaged or worn, are much more rare than you might think. So, if you've got a 1980 quarter that looks as if it was just minted yesterday, it's going to be worth more than you expect. Now, I know what you're waiting for, the big reveal. How much could a 1980 quarter really be worth? Here's the shocking part. If you've got one of these quarters that's in impeccable condition, or better yet, one that has a minting error that makes it truly unique, it could be worth an eye-popping $69,000. Yes, you heard that right. $69,000 for a single 1980 quarter. Can you believe it? A coin that most people would overlook could be worth more than a brand new car, or even a down payment on a house. It's incredible how much value can be hidden in something so small. So, what should you do now? It's time to start taking a closer look at your coin collection and checking those quarters you've been hanging onto for years. Even if they're just sitting there in your drawer, you never know. They could be worth more than you think. Whether it's a 1980 quarter or another coin from this era, it's always worth investigating its condition and any unique features it might have. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss out on future discoveries. You might just be sitting on a fortune. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.